And now, more Utalk. Now,
this is Utalk. We have got a power-packed show. We've got some incredibly talented students. I wish I was sitting in the same room with them, but because maybe that talent would jump over to me. But they've taken time out of their schedule. We've got Kelly, Lana, and Evan with us from John Burroughs High School. It's an award-winning Powerhouse show choir that they're part of. Did I get that right, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Spot on.
Right. Cool. They are recognized, the choir is recognized as one of the best in the United States. The program has been featured on America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, The Voice, and even on the Oprah Winfrey Show with the original cast of Glee. Now, we're going to have to come back to that. But guys, welcome. This is so cool. I've been looking forward to this. First of all, before we jump too far, welcome to Utalk. But what's the connection to Glee?
Well, okay, I'll answer this one. We started filming Glee at our school. So we inspired the show Glee, basically.
No way.
Yeah, like in the first few episodes, I believe that's our choir room. The set is like based off of our choir room a little bit. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Now, has the cast ever popped over back to John Burroughs and just said hi, or
Not in our time.
okay?
It's been a little bit of time since Glee, so we haven't seen them.
Now, did they actually film some of the episodes on the stage there?
I'm a big Glee guy. I know my ins and outs of Glee. I don't think they ever actually did a performance on the stage that was filmed for the show.
Okay.
I think it was mainly just the choir room stuff going on for the pilot episode, and then I think it's after that.
So you're a Glee guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
No, it's a great show. It's a great show because when I was in high school, I was part of the band, and I'm a drummer and all that stuff, jazz band and concert band and doing the school musicals and, all that. I mean, it's such a cool thing. All right. I've watched some of your competition, and I have not had competition videos, I should say. I've not had the opportunity yet to catch you guys live. I've got to get out there. I just really want to see you guys. And I've heard so many great things, and I've seen cool things, with videos and stuff. What makes a show choir different than like a regular choir?
Yeah. Basically, like a show choir is different from a regular choir is like, because in like a regular choir, you would just most choirs would just stand there and sing. And even if your choir is a show choir, but it's not as show choir-y as Powerhouse or John Burroughs or like Los Alamitos or any of those choirs. Ours is it's so much more. Like there's so much like going into costumes and choreography and even the sets. Like it's not even like a show choir anymore. It's just a big performance that we love to perform and keep doing and put on for everybody. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I keep thinking as you're saying this, is it close then to like a Broadway musical or something? Does it lean that direction?
Kind of. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so too in some of the sets, definitely.
The sets that we do at Burroughs all follow a story, and they're really carefully designed. So I would say that sometimes it can lean a lot closer to like a Broadway show. And also, we have a show in the beginning of the year where we just do Broadway sets, and we still follow like the show choir format. So we kind of dip into everything at Burroughs.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, now for the interested person, me right now, but hopefully a bunch of people are watching and feeling the same way. If I'm going to get out there to see a show, should I catch the one at the beginning of the year, or wait till later, or both?
I'd say preferably both, because I think that another great thing about our choir program at the Burroughs VMA is that it's so versatile that we have a bunch of variety going on throughout the shows. Like we have a Broadway show, as Kelly said before. Then around holiday season, we have a holiday show. Then we have a pop show later in February, so like early start of the second semester. And then we cap off the year with the spring show as well. So like there's always something going on.
Nice.
So they're always different. So that's why I would say it's always nice to be there. But I'd say pop shows are a big show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them. Yeah. I feel like
everything is so, that's another thing it's so cool to talk about it. Like, is it comparable to like a Broadway production like that? Because everything is so professionally done. That's just, it's always gone about. So I would say pop show, but everything is so so intricate. So
we learned just so many different types of music that I feel like we're all such well-rounded musicians. And so Pop Show is kind of like where we just do what a lot of the other schools do, or like the traditional show choir thing where we do our pop songs. But really, every different show showcases a different part of us.
Yeah.
Nice. That's, I'm sitting here listening to you guys because one of the things I started doing, I guess actually as a senior in high school, I was doing West Coast Broadway productions in the community I lived at in Northern California. And it was interesting. Do you guys ever find yourself with like a block and it's like, I forgot what I'm supposed to sing here, or I forgot what I'm supposed to do, or are you so well tuned that it's like it just flows out of you?
I think it's happened to me like once or twice at the very beginning of like the competition season. Like when we first learn it or we first perform it, there's maybe one little section where like, oh, where am I supposed to stand? But
Okay.
that's usually it. Like towards the rest of the time, it's usually you're so locked in.
Yeah.
You're in performance mode. There's like a different mode you almost go into for performing that you just don't forget anything.
If we mess up, we pull it off really well, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll be, and then sometimes like we'll make mistakes in the show, and people will just keep it because it just looks bebetter.
Yeah.
So we just pull it off,
It's interesting because when I started doing these West Coast Broadway productions, we didn't have a choir, I think, that at my high school that would compare with Powerhouse, but doing these other things, I started off as the percussionist in the pit for these, musicals. But the drummer could actually read better than I could. But the problem was when somebody messed up on stage, he just stopped because he's looking at the music going, well, I don't know where they are. I got to wait, and of course you never do that, especially in the rhythm section. So we got switched around and, I just keep vamping. I'd keep the rhythm section going until they figured out what was going on stage. You don't want to just cut that off. So, but it sounds like you guys are just so well polished and rehearsed. I mean, speaking of a band, by the way, do you guys have a live band when you're doing these shows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, you perked my attention because I'm always looking. I'm a big guy for the holidays, and I'm always looking for something else to add that's fun to do. So I'm going to have to come out and catch you guys for your Christmas show. Is that usually at the beginning of the month?
Yes, it's like the first of
December, yeah.
Beginning of December, yeah.
Oh, nice. I may have to come out to all four of them just to see.
You should.
When I've got that other hat as a drummer, and doing session work and things like that. So it's always fun to see. And I've just heard so many great things about you guys. What's the audition process like? I mean, somebody just doesn't walk in and go, hey, I want to be in Powerhouse.
Oh yeah, it's really competitive, but it's a pretty big audition process, I would say, in my opinion. Like experience and stuff. You have to choose a song and then you perform that song a cappella, and then you go in for like 3 days to learn a dance, and then after those 3 days of like workshop the dance and everything, you audition the dance in groups of 4. So so there's a singing audition, there's a dancing audition, and then there's also a music theory audition where they test how much they test like how much you know about music and if you can
sight read.
Yeah, if you can sight read or like things
matching,
like that.
Pitch.
Whoa, that's much more extensive than I would have expected. So you're actually workshopping the singing, the dancing or whatever, and doing you're workshopping these things. Then you've got to be auditioned from them.
Yeah. It starts before you even get there.
Yeah.
And then we just grow from there.
Wow. So, and even music theory, which actually is pretty awesome, that says the quality of where you guys are at. Now, you have other choirs at John Burroughs, correct?
Yes.
Is it typical that somebody would kind of work their way through the other choirs to Powerhouse, or not necessarily? You workshop it, you audition, and then you're there.
There's a lot of different ways that you can go through the program, but I think that each separate choir has its own little flair, and everyone learns something from each. But we have 4 curricular choirs. We have Advanced Mix, which is Powerhouse, Advanced Women's, which is Sound Sensations, and then we have, I think, Intermediate Mix, Sound Waves, and Intermediate Treble, Decibels, and then we have one after school, which is tenor and bass, called Men at Work. Yeah.
Whoa,
that's a things to do.
lot of stuff going on. I mean, approximately how many students are involved in all of these combined?
Like
we're in the 200s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the 200s.
I mean, that's a considerable amount of students just involved in the choir, because you've got the band, and I'm sure you've got different bands. You know, I can remember, you know, we had jazz band, we had concert band, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, and then there was some kind of an orchestra. I don't remember what that was called, but, you know, it's way more extensive than I had even imagined. We had some of your fellow classmates on with us 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and we didn't quite get into this kind of detail, but this is interesting. I mean, it really is. And growing in these different parts of things, and I would expect it to be highly competitive. So if you don't make, let's say, Powerhouse, do you end up in one of the other ones, or does it depend?
Yes.
I believe everybody ends up in a choir.
In a choir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Audition, Powerhouse has a callback, so usually there will be a larger group of people who will be considered for Powerhouse, and then everyone else there's not a callback, but we all get a spot in the choir.
Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, nobody's left out, and it might be a little disappointing I didn't make Powerhouse, but you're still part of everything going on.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a director, you have a choreographer, you have, I mean, all these different people that are putting all this stuff together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. How much dancing is involved?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole week before school even starts back up in August. There's a full week of like choir prep, I guess we call it, where I believe it's 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah.
And 2 of the days I know, like, we dance and we just get ready for the year just by like warming up our bodies to like dancing a few days in a row. And then also usually there's like one day where we just kind of have fun and relax a little bit and get to know each other more. So yeah, there's a lot of dancing involved though.
Ooh, I mean, there is way, way more involved, I think. I mean, I know than what I realize, and I've done stuff from the other side, like in the band. But, I mean, this is an amazing program. No wonder you're ranked, you know, the best or one of the best in the entire country. Do you guys travel to different competitions then?
Yes.
Yeah, we just a couple weeks ago, we went to Richmond, Virginia is where we stayed at, and we competed at the Cosby High School Tournament of Choirs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We have so many around California too. So we're always somewhere.
You're either performing at the school or you're someplace else. How did you do, by the way, back east?
Grand champ.
Grand champ.
With our other choir, Sound Sensations. So
Yeah.
we actually got like the sweepstakes award for the whole weekend. We
Whoa.
booked first.
Yeah.
Nice. Sweeping the weekend like that, that's got to feel good. You know, that's got to be that aha experience where you work so hard, you put everything into this, you go all the way back there, and to sweep it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is way cool. All right, now, if I'm understanding things, and feel free to correct me on this correctly, you guys are learning, you've already alluded to it, you're learning vocal technique, you're learning dance fundamentals, music theory, and performance skills. Mm-hmm. And this is all in addition to your other classes, correct?
Yes. I know each of us have many different interests. So we do a lot within school. No, we're all busy. We're all good students. So like a lot of the kids in Powerhouse will end up taking 7 classes just so that they can fit Powerhouse into their schedule.
Really?
Yeah. And I know I take medical classes, like Evan does basketball, Lana does her thing. So we just all have special talents.
Lana's in drama as well.
Drama.
Yeah.
We have special talents to bring.
Okay, when do you guys sleep?
That's a good question.
I'm getting tired listening to you, you know. I mean, I'm good tired. You know, and I guess that's part of it too. When you enjoy what you're doing and you're passionate about it, then sometimes you don't need as much sleep, you know. Hopefully you get some breaks to take some food in and all. But I mean, that's a long day, that's a busy day. But it's a rewarding day too, you know, and to be able to have, you know, sports involved or drama or, you know, studying medicine or whatever it happens to be, you know, I mean, that is great, but that's got to make for, obvious question. Do you guys have to maintain a certain grade point average to be in Powerhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Believe it's 2.0, but we try to strive above that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody,
Yeah, I mean,
everybody at that level and just in the VMA in general, like they're all such high achievers. It's like scary. Like it's freakish.
Yeah.
Motivation and determination is like, it's wild and it's across the board. Like everybody is like that. Everybody is so motivated and accomplished that it's like that usually it never would be an issue. But yeah.
No, that's great to hear, because I don't think that's common, in a lot of places today. And I think part of it is you guys have a purpose. You're fulfilling this passion. It's something fun. It's you're growing in it. You're developing. And I think, I don't know, my personal opinion is I'd like to see more students getting involved in something like this. Not necessarily Powerhouse, but a choir or a band or something, because I think it would make a huge difference. Another side hack of mine is I give drum lessons for a variety of reasons. It's fun to keep in touch, and it's, I like seeing students develop and everything else. And I often think, there's students out there that they're not doing real well. Would it make a difference? And I think it would, if they could get involved in something like what you guys are doing, or the band, or basketball, or whatever it is, something. But I think music has there's something special about that and that affects us all. It's a powerful thing. Now, what, as an individual in Powerhouse, is there certain individual expectations?
Yes.
I would say so. Yeah.
We all hold ourselves to a really high standard, but just to work together in a team and be around each other for as much time as we do, we really have to focus on ourselves and fill our own cups so that we can come together and make art. And I feel like we're really good at that. And especially this year, within our choirs, I feel like we've created a really good family. So we're able to take care of ourselves and take care of others pretty well.
That's awesome. And you read my mind, because I'm sitting there thinking about community, and I'm thinking family, and just thinking back in my own experience. And then even, when I've traveled with bands on the road and done shows or, we're in the studio doing something or whatever, there's something that happens. There's a community thing that happens. There's a family thing that happens. And once again, going back to what I was thinking of, talking about a moment ago, there's a lot of students that don't get that. They don't have family at home, but they don't have it at school either. And I think it could make a huge difference if they could just experience it just a little bit. Would probably change their life.
It really does.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
100% it does. I'm a sophomore this year, and I transferred from I'm an incoming transfer, and one of the biggest parts of transferring to the school and coming was how excited I was to be a part of the program and a part of the choir. And it 100% gives that outlet, the passion, the desire, and motivation extends to stuff that I wouldn't usually be motivated to do. You know what I mean? It pushes me to be successful in other areas. And I think that it does the exact same for everybody else in the choir. And I think that it doesn't necessarily matter the production level or how high achieving the group is, but that sense of family, you can get that anywhere. And once you find it, I 100% agree that it's so fulfilling for your peace and your soul. It's done something for me this year. No,
there's something to be said for that. I'm not involved like I used to be now, but I would typically I would help the local high school drum line, and I actually had somebody come up to me, the drumline instructor, and he goes, "Hey, aren't you, Steve Russo?" Yeah. Well, what are you doing here, man? You're like the guy. And I'm going, I'm just here helping out. And to me, I just love that. I love that environment, and hey, it doesn't get any better on a Friday night. You're standing, just off field watching the game. I mean, and then you're working with talented students. I mean, to me, it makes you thrive. There's something about it. And I'm glad to hear. I mean, I assumed that there was a community with what you got, and having that family, and you don't want to let somebody else down. And Evan, you just said something I think really important, that it has affected you in other things you do. It's been motivational, and that it was. Did you experience anything like this previously at the school you transferred from?
So that's interesting. I came from Burbank High School, which is just over the bridge, a few blocks down, and they have like historically another like nationally recognized show choir, like a great thing on, and they're amazing, and like the production level is amazing, and it's great, and I loved my time there. But the passion and the family aspect, like I 100% like will take this to my grave. It's a hill I'll die on. Like you can't get it anywhere else. You can't get it anywhere else. Like it really is like glorious, and has been so amazing for me. Like and everybody agrees, and it's kind of a universal like thing for the people in the program. The family aspect of it is something I think not only radiates through our performance on stage, but it's what makes it so special.
Is there anything you could pinpoint? Maybe not, because that's a huge statement. I mean, that you're talking 100% huge to say that it's, you gave compliments to Burbank High and what they're doing and everything else, but the family thing, I mean, is there anything you can put your hands on to say this is what makes it different, or it's just the vibe, it's the organic situation?
I would say we're waking up every day at school at 7:30 in the morning is when our class starts every day, and we're working like our minds are locked in, and we're all in pace with each other 5 days a week, and then we have one rehearsal after school on Thursday.
At least one rehearsal. Sometimes
at least one rehearsal, sometimes two. You know what I mean? We have multiple shows. We are spending time together. It gets to be like a crazy amount of how much time we spend together, and how kind we are to each other, and like how accepting everybody is, and like how it literally becomes like your family. You know what I mean? Like this might be crazy to say, but I feel like I've spent more time with Powerhouse this school year than I have with my actual family. Like it is pretty crazy. Like it's a second home for me, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say it mainly is. But another thing would be just like the daily interactions. Like the people there are so kind. Like they are so on point with you. Like they'll always say hi, always smiling. Like, and I've grown to become friends with literally anybody. I think I could talk to anybody in that choir and have a good conversation, shoulders to lean on. Like it has been surreal, because when you're at that level and everybody is so talented and so good, and we're all working so hard, it's like I can see a world where it would be very easy to become sort of complacent when it came to like just doing the little things and like being kind to each other. Yeah. But like it never fails to make me smile walking to the classroom and working. So
man, that is so that is just absolutely so cool to hear, because that's unusual. That's unique. I mean, is there this kind of vibe beyond the choir, the different choirs and stuff on campus in general, or not necessarily?
I think within our school, it's something special to us.
Okay.
I think all of us would say that.
Yeah.
You can't find it anywhere else. No other school, and no other place within our school too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. But what an awesome thing to, Evan, you said, I want to take this to my grave. I mean, that's going to be with you guys the rest of your life, no matter what you see yourself doing or where you see yourself going or any of that. I mean, it's a life changer. And it's something that not everybody gets the opportunity to experience and live through, but it will. It's already changed your life, and I've just met you a few minutes ago. And I can sense it from you. I mean, it's whoa, what a cool thing to experience. I mean, it really is. All right, now I'm gonna digress for just a moment. I know, Kelly, you and I had gone back and forth with emails, and I mentioned the possibility of doing a song. Did you guys have a chance to put anything together?
No. Maybe I think what would be really good is if you came to our spring concert this May on jbjsvma.com. Selfless promo.
No, that's 100% cool. No worries at all. But it's some of the crew always reminds me, Steve, when you get, especially people like you, when they're on the show, have them do something. So I'm going to say, hey, they pointed us to come to the live thing. So when's your spring concert, by the way?
It is in May, and the exact date.
I think we just said May 16th right there. Shout out Matt Gainey. Yeah.
May 16th.
May 16th.
You're invited.
Okay. Thank you so much. That makes my heart and my liver warm, that I got invited to go.
Yeah.
Now, will it just be Powerhouse? on the 16th?
It'll be everyone.
It'll be all 5 choirs.
All 5 choirs, okay. And so all 5 are presenting their competition set instead of you doing 5 different ones. So you have a competition set for one for each choir per year or per season, I guess, then?
Well, we have our pop show like competition sets is once per year, but we do it in the spring, and then we have other sets for different shows. Okay. So got a lot going on.
I love it. Now, do you guys, is there do each of you have a favorite show that you have done or a favorite competition set that you've done? It could be the same one for all of you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
She's been in Powerhouse for 3 years. This is her 3rd year in Powerhouse. So
yeah.
I think a lot of other people's favorites is one that we did a couple of years ago, and it was based on the game BioShock. Okay. And I love that one. It's a lot of like our newer members like favorite ones to like reminisce on. But I think my favorite sets to do for me have been obviously our pop show sets, but I'm not really like a musical theater person. And so every time we get to do our Burroughs on Broadway, it's really special because like I don't listen to musicals as much as other people. And so that's how I get introduced to shows. So I really love to do that show. We've done Jekyll and Hyde and Hadestown and
sweet.
Great shows. What about you guys?
Yeah. I would say this is my first year in Powerhouse this year. I'm a junior. And I would say Jekyll and Hyde for Burroughs on Broadway. We did that in the fall. That's our fall show. That's our big Broadway show. Us did Jekyll and Hyde. And it was one of the most fun things that I could have I could have done at Burroughs, in my opinion, for Burroughs on Broadway. It was just a lot of fun. Either that one or the year before that when I was in Sound Sensations, we did Six the Musical. And I think that was really, really fun for me too.
Nice.
What has been your favorite this year?
It was my first year in Powerhouse as well. My favorite thing, and everything is so amazing and it's been so special to me, but our competition set specifically has been really fun. We find out what our competition sets are it's in September when we go to a sleepaway camp when we prepare our shows for our Broadway show.
Oh, nice.
And so you have all of that energy built up for so long, and then you work so hard for it. And like I said before, like this was all like an incredible opportunity for me. Like it was something that I hadn't known this year at Burroughs, and so every day was a blessing, and all the hours put in, and there's been so much work to it that like performing that set is so. There's so much emotional connection to it for me. So that's why it's been my favorite. And I think that's always how it's going to be. But that's a great thing about Burroughs is that there is always an emotional aspect to everything that we do. And it radiates on the stage. There's always purpose, always incredible detail. And so like that's why I think everything is my favorite. But I think we just...
That's okay.
I think we do the competition set the most. And I always... get teary, like I'm always crying whenever we do that competition set. So
I'm just gonna add on, being in the choir, like as a senior and having done so many sets, there's not one that's my favorite because we kind of change the story each year, and so each one brings different emotions out of me, and we do different style of music, different style of dance all the time. And so when I think back to old ones and we're performing our current one, like nothing tops each other. It just brings out different emotions. And yeah, I can say that we all get teary at the end. It's just amazing.
So when the season is over, and that obviously goes all year, I mean, all the school year, do you find yourselves wanting to, because you're immersed in it, you're just absolutely immersed in it. Do you say, okay, I'm done. I don't want to go see somebody else perform. I don't want to go see a musical. Or do you find yourself gravitating in that direction?
I mean, like for me, I always feel myself gravitating in that direction. I always want to see more. Like when everything's over, I get super like sad and upset because it feels like part of my life has just ended, which kind of it has in some way because I will never get this set with these people back in the same room to do the set again. And that's why every performance we do is just incredible to me, and it's so special each one we do, and everybody's just so locked in and brings out the best in everyone, in my opinion. And so when it's over, it's a very bittersweet moment, and I just for something to fill the musical theater part of me. So
yeah, no, I can see that. And bittersweet, what a great descriptive word. I mean, that's 100% describes what's going on.
Yeah.
And I guess it's worse. Okay, now Kelly, you're a senior, correct?
I can't even think about it right now.
Okay.
After you asked this question, I was like, yeah. Usually in the summer, we get a little bit like, okay, it's over for a little bit, but we're coming back in the fall. But I just can't think about how I'm not coming back. So I'm going to be there in the audience.
Not support. Okay, well, maybe I'll see you in the audience if I make my way out there more frequently or whatever, because I've got to see this. Why is music so important to all of us?
It is, well, for me at least, and I think generally for a lot of people that I've always connected with about it, music
brings people together.
yeah.
It brings people together, and the sense is so easy to express what you're going through and feeling through the music, and is that words could never really describe. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's my favorite thing on this planet. I couldn't live without music. I adore it. And it's just my easiest way for me to express what I'm going through without having to talk about it. And even talking about it isn't enough. So sometimes music is what gets you through.
No, for sure. And it's a universal language. I've been in, 33 countries or whatever, doing music and events and things like that. And 35 states, whatever, blah, blah. But it's just amazing to me to be in another country when you can't even speak the language, and yet you're playing music, and there's something there. There's a connectedness there. Now, where do you guys see yourself in the future? What's your dream? Do you see yourself with music and this kind of thing being part of your life, or?
We'll go down the line.
Yeah, I do a lot, because I try to think about what my life would look like in 3 years or 5 years from now, when I'm in college or not in college or anywhere. And it makes me sad to think about if I don't pursue music or acting or anything in this, I won't be performing. And I don't like thinking about that, because I love performing too much to give it up. And it's hard to pursue that, but I think that's something that I would want to do, because I want to follow my dreams and see if it can go somewhere, rather than not follow my dreams and never know if I could have gone somewhere.
Yeah, you don't want to have to look back and go, oh, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
And just go for it. And you're all creatives. I mean, I recognize a creative because I'm one too, and it frustrates me sometimes when I get locked into having to do admin stuff and management stuff and everything. It's like, I want to tell, the board, hey, look, just put me in a padded room, okay? Give me a drum kit, give me a camera, give me a computer, let me write, let me perform, and then knock on the door and say, okay, Steve, we're going to take you out. Now you can go perform. Okay, now you go back in your room. It's, but life doesn't always work that way. But that's awesome. And I see that bittersweetness. I know I've experienced it, because when you do have that community, you do have that family. Somebody who is watching us or listening to this show, and they're saying, man, I resonate, this is like 100% me. What advice do you guys have for them? How did they get started? Maybe they haven't gotten involved yet, and maybe they're thinking, oh, okay, I'm a junior. Is it too late for me to start? Or I'm a freshman. How do I even, any advice you guys have for them?
I would say,
do it.
Do it.
That's what I was saying. Do it.
Do it. I think it's
do
never
it. Okay.
I think if you have that desire, then there's a meaning behind it. And I think that, as both of you said, you don't want to feel like you wasted something. And I know we have people who they'll join their senior year and they'll only have 1 year, but they'll say it's amazing. There's people who will join in the middle of the school year and no one ever regrets it.
And if you don't go to John Burroughs, or you don't go to anywhere where there's a choir, and maybe if singing and dancing isn't your thing at all, and it's not something that you like to do, find find something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's always that passion, that drive.
Yeah.
That I believe there's always going to be something that will be so similar to the thing that we have, because we all love what we do and we like pour our hearts and soul into it. And I think that everybody is destined for something in that sense. Mm-hmm. There's always something that is flowing through somebody's like body and mind, in my opinion. And I'd say go searching.
Yeah.
Find what you love and attack it and never look back.
Yeah.
Well said. You guys are all sharing like these gold nuggets, of wisdom. I mean, no, it's really true. I mean, attacking it with your heart and your soul. What are you passionate about? And when I speak on high school campuses doing like an assembly thing, and I talk about choices, and I constantly refer back to that thing. What are you passionate about? Find something you're passionate about and give yourself to it. You'll make better choices in your life.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. We're going to have to do this again. I mean, this is just such a great conversation. We're only really getting started. I can't thank you guys enough. This has been an amazing time for me. It's been, you've motivated me. You've reminded me why I love so much to me, it's like you get bit by this bug, if you will have it. It's not a bug, but you get a taste of it, I guess it's better. And you got to have more, at least for me. And you guys are the same way, I think. Once you taste it, you don't want to go back because there's just something there that pulls you in and fulfills you and motivates you and gives you that purpose and that meaning. There's not a question of why am I here? What can I do? And saying just do it. It's great wisdom, you guys. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedules to do this. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us. We had a great time.
No, it's our pleasure. It really is. This has been an amazing show. Just if I was rating this, I'd just say 100%. Why not? It's 100% great. So I wish you guys the best, and I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you in May.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is Utalk Radio.